Thank you all for coming for this rather short notice briefing. This is a short briefing for all of Whiskey Company about a number of changes, and will be the first of our new delivery method where we will have, well, I'll get into that, but it will be the first of our new annual briefings. I'm Decuro Reno. You'll all be familiar with me, hopefully, and if not, welcome to the squad, you must be new. So we're just going to get straight into things. So, as I touched on there, we now have a new delivery format specifically for Whiskey Company. I know things can be quiet at times, so what we're going to try and do is a guaranteed minimum of 2 company briefings a year. So that's 1 briefing at the beginning of the year and 1 briefing at the end of the year. Of course, we'll still have briefings in between, but that's going to be a guaranteed minimum of 2 briefings for Whiskey Company a year. And that's whole company, so everyone in Whiskey Company gets this. This isn't counting individual squad briefings, operation briefings, anything that comes in between. It's just to get a minimum commitment from command. Similarly, we've always had a rather continual rolling review of squads, and that's not going to change. We're always looking to promote and reshuffle members, as you'll have seen, so that's not changed. But I just had to touch on that to confirm that we are still rolling about members in different squads, and even after what I'm about to go and cover, there may be some further changes, so let's get on to that. So the new company structure, a lot of this you will have already seen. You've got new call signs based on your squad name. So obviously we've got Whiskey 1 Emperor's Eagles and Whiskey 2 Hounds of Hades. So they have not changed. But what it does mean is now for your squad, your leader will have the first part of your squad name. So for example, Eagle 1 is the leader of the Emperor's Eagles. The second in command is Eagle 2. And the radio technician is Eagle 3, and there's usually 4 people in a squad, so that means there'd be Eagle 4. And then the same for Whiskey 2, Hounds of Hades. We've got Hound 1 is the leader, Hound 2, which isn't currently occupied, would be the second in command, and Hound 3 is going to be the radio operator. As for the layout of the company, Whiskey 1 is still going to remain the primary squad as it has been for a while, and Whiskey 2, for the moment, considering our current personnel and just the way things are, it will remain as a reserve squad to supplement Whiskey 1 and other squads that may need extra backup. There is an option for Whiskey 3, which we will touch on later, but they will only be to supplement Whiskey 1. As I said, Whiskey 2 is going to be our main reserve force, with Whiskey 1 being the primary, so Whiskey 3 is going to come in the middle of that. For the moment, we don't have Whiskey 3, but again, I'm about to go and touch on why. This bit is unfortunately had to come out. We are getting further changes to the MOS. Obviously, we're the attack vessels, we've got the support vessels and the shock troopers. We are considering, I say we, I mean the brass, are considering changing those further to match our Roman lore, but unfortunately they've not been formally announced by the time of recording this while I'm on the train, so I'm just going to have to give you forewarning on that. It shouldn't make too much difference as we're still going to be Whiskey Company, but instead of being called attack vessels, we'll be called something more Roman related, so keep an eye on that for the announcement that will follow soon, I would imagine. So, getting into the individual squads, as I touched on, we've got Whiskey 2 Hounds of Hades. They are going to be in a more limited capacity as the reserve buffer squad. It's just an unfortunate way of how things have turned out. It's not a demotion to be moved to Whiskey 2, but as I said, our primary force will be Whiskey 1, supplemented by Whiskey 3. So for the moment, we're a bit light on Whiskey 2, but that's fine because it's a reserve force. So we've promoted Triarchus Major Holy. He's going to be Hound 1. And Hades 3, the radio operator, is going to be Aenator Semi, which is unchanged. This obviously leaves further space for reserve/buffer forces, as I've said a few times. We might move a few people into Whiskey 2, out of Whiskey 2, depending on activity and general operational capacity. So Whiskey 2 is an operating force, but as I said, it's going to really be for people who want to be in the attack Moss but are operating in a reserve capacity. So now we've got the main meat of Whiskey. We've got Whiskey 1, the Emperor's Eagles, and as I've said, they're going to be our primary fighting force. We've got most people in Whiskey 1, which again I will touch on in a second. So, as you will have already seen, the news was broken before this briefing. Storm has been promoted to Eagle 1, Triarchus Major. So congratulations, Storm. You will now be leading Whiskey 1. That is obviously an exciting change, but you will hear more about that soon. Now, as we now have a Eagle 1, I have been working with Storm on coming up with Eagle 2, the Triarchus Minor, the second in command. And we will touch on how we're going to decide on that at the end of this slide. At the moment, it is to be filled, so one of you will be stepping up to become the second in command to assist Storm with operating Whiskey 1. Same for Eagle 3, which is the Aenator, the radio operator. We're going to decide on this a little bit down the road once we've got settled with Eagle 1 and Eagle 2. So Eagle 3 will be filled, but for the moment we are leaving that blank, and it will be on a operation basis. The radio will be decided. So as you can see here, I know I said the squad should be a size of 4, which is a squad leader, second in command, radio operator, and a Navarch. Obviously it's a bit unprecedented that we have more in the squad at the moment, so you can see Eagle 4, 5 and 6. Obviously one of those is going to become the Triarchus Minor, and one of those is going to become the Aenator. I was saying about Whiskey 3 earlier. Obviously, because of the numbers, we're going to be taking some from Whiskey 1 once we have a few more members in Whiskey Company. I don't want to move to Whiskey 2 at the moment because you're all fairly active and part of the primary fighting force. So what we will most likely do is when we get more members, one of you will be moving up to help lead Whiskey 3, so a bit of a promotion to come with that as well. So we will be looking as part of this continual squad review about who's going where, but as I said, the more immediate is getting someone as the Triarchus Minor, that second in command, to assist Storm in this squad. So how we're going to do that is tomorrow, that is Saturday, as of recording this. I'm recording this on the Friday, so I will be posting out an announcement with this video. We are going to do a series of tests, not the original operation that was planned, but more a one-on-one duel between the candidates of Navarchs to decide who has the best combat capacity, as well as some more slightly technical ones about leadership and just general things that are covered in the handbook. Myself and Storm will be judging that, and ultimately, as Storm is the leader of Eagle 1, she will be getting the most say in the matter, advised by myself and the command. So look out for this announcement. We are going to have this minor test tonight, hopefully, and that should be good. So that is the presentation. I thank you for your time. There will be little bits that are following up on this, but for now, these are the main points that you need to know. Thank you for your time.